Hello?
Awesome.
So before we get started, and before I ask you the questions, I kind of wanted to introduce you guys and give everybody the amazing accomplishments that you've done. So I'll start with Martha. Martha, you are a real estate developer, an international best-selling author. You are a certified trainer, a coach, mastermind facilitator. You are the founder of Viamar Homes, which is what you are focusing on building right now. But not only that, you've successfully led the development of dozens of single-family homes. She's also a developer, y'all. What stood out to me was that you are an immigrant from Cuba. She arrived here in the United States in 1991 with your parents and your 4-year-old son. You studied civil engineering in Cuba, which gave you all the incredible knowledge in the areas of construction. You've built and operated 3 multi-million-dollar companies concurrently at the same time, okay? A real estate brokerage, a mortgage company, and a real estate land development company. And finally, you're extremely intentional in the areas of marketing and advertising and sales in order to achieve all of the amazing results that you've had. So I just want everybody to give her a round of applause.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you for inviting, and I appreciate all of you here today, so thank you, everyone.
Yes, we're so excited to learn from you. And then to my left, we have Mr. Mark Pinilla, which we are so grateful that you drove all the way from Miami to be here with you all. Mark is a dynamic speaker and a corporate trainer with a background in finance and real estate. Mark Pinilla is a top producing property manager with nearly 30 years of combined experience in real estate and property management. And get this, he currently oversees 250 investment properties across Miami-Dade and Broward County for Kai's Property Management. 250, okay? He told me that he works on Saturday and Sundays. Okay, give me the specific number.
280 right now and 75 more in January.
Okay, so like 350 properties, amazing. Mark is known for his integrity, for his work ethic, for his trustworthiness. Obviously, he just corrected the number, right? He's like, okay, no, this is the number. He's a certified trainer for NAHREP, where he teaches the NAHREP 10 principles. He also serves as the 2025 co-education director for NAHREP South Florida. Mark is also the founder of Vet Info, which is a nonprofit dedicated to improving the mental health and well-being of veterans. So thank you so much for being here.
Veterans here. Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you for your service. All right, so I know that we always like to talk about numbers, right? Contracts and AI, because we're realtors, but I think that what truly builds trust in this industry and closes deals are the soft skills that we don't talk about and train about. It's how to communicate effectively, how to listen, right? And I like to say that listening is like psychological oxygen, right? We have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Have you ever asked yourself why? Right? We're so quick as realtors to prescribe, right, as a doctor without knowing what the diagnosis is. And so I want to focus this panel on that, okay? It's leadership and soft skills. So this question is for Martha. Martha, what soft skills have helped you take an idea from blueprint to reality as you built the 3 companies that you've done before?
Well, I believe the number one thing that I felt close to my heart, it was to have a clear vision. And sometimes we talk about vision, but it gets blurred.
Yeah.
However, especially in the construction, for example, you got to start from the fundamental, the foundation in my case, right? So you have to have the vision very clear and be able to go through the process of trusting yourself, but still believing in your vision when you have not achieved your vision just yet. That's number one thing, the vision. Second, I would say clarity in the process of how you're gonna get there, because we're going to have delays, setbacks, obstacles, COVID, there's things that are gonna happen. However, you still have to, if you believe in your vision, you have to be very clear that you're going to, no matter what, you're going to go from, like you said, from blueprint?
From blueprint to reality.
There you go. And the third thing I would say, I would have to have, or this is what I did, to have very clear that yes, I'm gonna have my vision, yes, I need to do what I need to do, but also I have to be flexible, disciplined, and be able to have adaptability. Because if you're too rigid, you're going to feel maybe that you're failing yourself at some point. And there are things that are beyond really the things that we cannot control. However, if you're disciplined, you're going to follow through. If you're flexible, you're going to adapt as you go. And I think those three things basically will help you achieve whatever you're going.
Yes, thank you for sharing that, especially the adaptability and flexibility. We all have to become what I like to call in this industry a pivoting genius, right? Be really good at pivoting. So thank you for that. This question is for you, Mark. So when you are coaching professionals, what's the number one soft skill that separates good from great?
Communication. Being able to talk to your clients and understand what they're looking for, being able to pivot because of that communication. I think I'm an expert to a certain degree, only because I've convinced my wife for 28 years I'm perfect. So if you can do that, then you can work with clients. But in an industry where the clients speak Spanish, or they speak English, or they speak Spanglish, and understanding the market, because we have different languages here that we have to understand, right? Mortgage language, title language, insurance language. As a property manager, I have to be able to convey to my clients every single aspect of their home. So when I get a vendor tell me something, I say, you have to sell it to me because I have to sell it back to that owner. If I can't communicate that message, they're not going to spend the $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000 that they have to spend. So I have to be good at what I do, communicating back to them, where's the value in that? And so if we learn to communicate that value back to them, then you're going to do a good job in your job. You're going to do an excellent job for your clients, and you're going to take care of it. I like to say that if you ever raise children, communication is important in the sense of stability. Our children don't care that you say we love you. They want to see the stability. Well, where do they see the stability? Through your communication to them when you say, when we get home, you're going to brush your teeth. When you get home, you're going to see your bed. Whatever it is, you're constantly communicating, and that's what happens with your clients. Your clients are calling you for information because they're lost. They don't know. They're concerned about their $500, $200, $300 million home. And you're the one taking care of it. I'm the ones with the keys. Think about it. Just do the math. About 300 properties times what average home? 400, 500, 600,000? That's a lot of responsibility. So if you learn to communicate back to them, you're going to have less issues, less calls, and less concerns.
I love that. Also, by a show of hands, how many of you in your discovery calls or your buyer consultations are asking your clients, what is your preferred method of communication? Not enough hands in the room are going up.
What about even establishing a weekly or bi-weekly meeting with them to say, we're going to meet once a week or every other week, and we're going to talk about the progress of the sale or the rental or whatever, and then they already have an expectation. That's clear communication, even though for 2 weeks you don't speak to them.
That's right. Or sending them weekly update videos, right, on Tuesdays or on Mondays. But make sure that you are communicating the way that the client likes to be communicated to. Because you can say, I sent you 1,000 emails, I sent you 5 emails, and if the client's preferred method is text message, do they feel that you are a good communicator? Exactly. So thank you for that. All right, next question. This is for you, Mark, as well. Agents are often looking to make changes and often looking to change brokers, right, to find better tools to scale their businesses. How can agents present themselves as more hireable for a broker? I don't know if you follow me with this question. I can make it a little bit clearer, but just let me know.
So if we look at NAHREP discipline number 2, it talks about being top 10% in your profession, right? Our goal here is to raise the net worth of our owners, of our buyers, of our renters. So if you are a realtor who wants to establish themselves as somebody different, as a different kind of realtor, then you can't be average. Average realtor sells makes an income of somewhere between $50,000 and $70,000 a year. What kind of income is that really to say that you're living? You have to have like a co-income to be able to exist, right? So are you making more than that? Do you have a business plan? Are you showing the broker what you're doing to understand the market? Maybe even the broker hasn't changed the questions that they're asking. Tell me about your business plan. Tell me about what market do you see. Tell me about how you see the growth of home ownership. Do they understand, especially if they're part of NAHREP, do they understand the last report that we got? If we don't, then we're not being the top 10% of our profession. So if you guys went to the San Diego trip, the conference, the most impactful piece that I got out of the astronaut who spoke, Mr. Rodriguez, his wife asked him a very simple question. What do those other people who got chosen have that you don't? And he started focusing on that, and that led him to being able to be chosen to go to space. And I think one of the biggest key takeaways was that he spoke Russian, because when they built the space station, they're going to do it with Russia. So what do you have that's different from every other realtor? Because we're dime a dozen if you really think about it. So how do you make yourself different?
I love that. Thank you for answering that. Martha, this question is for you. How can the stories that we tell ourselves help agents and brokers alike differentiate themselves? And the reason why I'm asking you this is because you came to this country, right? You probably did not know the English language. You built 3 amazing companies. You're currently building your brokerage and really focusing on that. So you're speaking and dealing with agents all the time. So what are some of the stories that we tell ourselves as agents that can either make or break our business?
That's a great question. And for correction, I'm not building a brokerage. I'm not a real estate agent, all right? No, I used to be Bianca is. What I'm doing is building a land development company and building homes and teaching and coaching people how to do that, how to become better, their own developers, let's say, right? However, based upon what you asked me, what stories do we tell ourselves? Well, we always have terrible conversations with ourselves every day. And I think that it comes from our childhood situations, circumstances. However, if we, let's say, and I understand we, because I'm building a business, I'm making connections, so we are connecting with each other all the time, right? So what Mark mentioned about communication, this is key, and also listening. But the point I'm trying to make is the following. We have to be able to change our story to the story that we want to live in the future. Like this moment right now, we already worked on it. This is all news already. If we stay here and we just stay in this time frame right now, we're done. That's it. So think about, if you want to build a real estate business, if you want to build a successful real estate career, a successful life, project forward 3, 4, 5, 10 years out. Paint a beautiful picture. Exactly put that in there, exactly where you want. You're going to learn probably new skills. Do it. You're going to have to communicate, be able to articulate your words better. Learn that. Even if you speak with an accent, okay, but learn how to say it, especially if you're going to be serving, and that's the other thing. Who exactly are you serving? If all of us here want a better Latino community, if we all want more sales, more loans, more closing, more everything, shift your mindset from 10 loans or 3 sales or 5 closings to I am helping 10 more clients, I'm helping 10 more families. So in other words, shift from the money aspect of it to the actual value that you're bringing to the marketplace, to the life and the transformation that because of your help, your expertise, you're bringing to that family. Because when somebody buys a house, and maybe they're in their 60s and they've never owned a home before, like I come from Cuba. For Cuban people, for example, I lived in the same house for 20 years. So an old home for me, that's terrible. Maybe that's one of the reasons why I actually end up starting construction, because I do value the new. So sell the value, and when you're able to sell the value to your clients are going to absolutely love you, come back to you, and like Bill mentioned, they're going to refer you, and that's going to happen organically, very easy. And you do it from your heart. Be honest, and so tell yourself a story that you are improving your life, you're improving your story because you're here to serve, you're here to sell, to help. And if you do that, you're going to be closing a lot more loans and selling more. And altogether as a community, we're going to grow even more, especially in the Hispanic community.
Yeah.
So that's my take on this.
Yes, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And can I just add, you kept saying share your story, right? Like we tell ourselves a lot of red light stories as professionals. Like I can't do this, I want to sell 100 homes, but I only sold 50 this year. Your story, it's your strategy. So if you're using your story as a strategy, that's great, but not as a red light story. Don't victimize yourself and see yourself as a future professional that you want, like the best version of yourself. Envision that and feel it. So yes, Mark, I know you were going to add something.
Add there, yes. So if you read a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, it talks about when you graduate, everybody thinks, oh, I've learned everything I need to learn. The reality is it's just getting started, right? It's just the foundation. You said to go out there, you said 10%, right? 10% return rate. I think that's outrageous. I try to teach in my classes when I go to the board of realtors and other brokerages, I say, you need to be Uncle Mark. What is Uncle Mark? Uncle Mark is the one that goes to the baptism, the bar mitzvah, the funeral, the birthday, the wedding, and those kids that grow up with you, being Uncle Mark, they're going to call you to be that realtor. That 10% is going to change. But you have to be different, and you have to carry that story with you. Because when you're Uncle Mark, you're telling the kids stories, right? If you're not that Uncle Mark, you're never going to get that 10% out for yourself. So find a way to be different again.
Yes, I love that. And you can keep holding the mic because this question is for you. So Mark, can soft skills really be trained or are they natural?
They're both. Some can be trained and some are natural. But talent can only get you so far because perseverance will really outwin talent every day and twice on Sunday. The question is, are you willing to do the change? And some people are not willing to do the change. So you got to ask yourself, do I really want those soft skills? Do I understand that I need to communicate? Do I understand that I need to be a problem solver? Do I need to understand that I need to be able to work with different people? I could care less about our accents. I think it's great. So how do we encompass that? I told a friend who was different in his way of thinking and the way he lives, without saying anything specific, and I said, this is how I look at it. You like mushrooms? Great. Eat mushrooms? I don't like mushrooms, don't make me eat mushrooms. If we take this mentality of simplicity, it doesn't matter who you are or how you are or what you speak or what you do, you're a person, and if you're human, I respect you, right? So let's just let's collaborate, but collaboration is one of those soft skills that you have to learn. How do I collaborate with people that I don't know? How do I communicate with people that I don't know? How do I work with you? I just met you today, and here we're having a conversation, and you learn about me, I learn about you. This is collaboration.
And I like you.
Thank you. I'm married.
Not like that.
See, I know I joke around too. But we have to be able to do this because if not, it's not going to work. Our culture needs to change. The environment needs to work about how we collaborate. If we can collaborate, we're going to be very effective wherever we go. Collaboration is a very important soft skill.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. Okay, Martha, what is your recommended strategy for owning 5 homes in 5 years?
Well, first of all, I want to thank Lauren for mentioning that. I absolutely love that 5 on 5 recommendations. Believe that you can have it. And one of the things that I see a lot in the real estate industry is that, okay, real estate agents have the amazing access to all the inventory that is available. And you're buying and selling, and buying and selling, buying and selling. How many of them do you own? Why haven't you started to think that you need to own a portfolio that you can manage, that or somebody else can manage? If it's big enough that you need management, fantastic, even better. But one of the things I see that people don't think, and that's a problem, because they don't think it, they don't do it. So I believe that all of us, especially in the real estate, we have to think, what is the next 20 years, 30 years, when we are going to be way older, because we're going all in the same direction, how are we going to be taken care of? I believe that oxygen is fantastic, and the next best thing is real estate. And we are in it. We are in it. So I love the idea of owning a lot of real estate, teaching people how to do that, And everybody in this room should be not only a real estate agent or a mortgage person, they should also be an investor. And all it takes is a little bit of pivot, a little bit of a shift in the mindset. And this is the thing, you want to own new real estate? Own it, buy. There's so much amazing inventory now available. Then talk to people, talk to Lauren. See, work out a plan, how you can do it. You need a title, then do your homework. Because we're all professionals, so we could do it. And if you want to do it, then I'll teach you how to do it. Very simple. Because in the next 5 years, oh my God, I wish that we are, let's say, not in this room, but in another room where we have 500 people and everybody's a multimillionaire. And we all have the ability to be able to do that. And why not? Well, think it, believe it, act it, buy it, invest it, build it, own it. We should be able to do that. Now, who is doing that commitment in this room today? Who is doing this? Who is doing this? I'm not stopping until everyone's hand is up. Because we're here to win. And the more we're able to win, the more we can help clients. And besides, then you walk your talk. Not just, this is a great investment. No, it's not. You know it's not. You're just following the commission. You need to change that. Because when you own property, you are excited about it. You talk about it. Now you talk about it with passion. You don't need to fake it. And it leads me to, I would say, instead of calling it soft skill, I would transform that into a power skill. You talk from your authentic self, what you feel, why you're doing it. You don't need to fake it. You don't need to script. You just say what you feel, and you do it looking at people in their eyes. And guess what? People are going to be excited to say, hey, I want more. I want that. And that is called transformation. That's how we all, individually and collectively, change communities and build this country because we're in the best country in the world. And I think we should all be, multimillionaires. And we can do that, especially being in the industry.
Yes.
So that's my take on it.
Thank you. She's passionate. I love it. Mark, did you want to say something?
I love the passion.
Yes, I do too. Mark, this is for you. I know that property management requires constant problem solving. You're dealing with tenants, and you're dealing with a lot of people who sometimes are angry. What role does empathy and communication play in your success?
So it's interesting, I was put in an office, a real estate office, to sit there and share the office with them, and some of the ladies would hear me speaking about all these problems that would come in. The AC broke, the refrigerator broke, I lost my food, get me somebody here right now, no water heater, whatever it may be. And they always saw me speaking to these people, and they said, you never get upset. And I said, the reality is that I didn't cause the problem. I get paid to fix the problem. So why should I take it personally? Right? If we take ourselves out of the scheme of things, right, understand that, okay, they're going through a bad day. It could even happen with your wife, right? My wife can come home, most likely I come home with a bad mood, but my wife, you have to say, you know what, something happened, let me give them a moment, let them deal with their problem. But then at the same time, when I'm dealing with these tenants, I have to try to find a way to make them happy, right? The answer always isn't their favorite answer. They all believe that there's an AC tech ready and waiting to go to their house and fix their AC in that instance. And they don't realize that AC tech probably has 10 to 15 calls before that. So I have to set expectations. And if I learn to set expectations, that helps me deal with them. I also like the fact that there's a contract in place. Why? Because the contract sets the rules. A lot of these tenants say, I work for the owner. I say, I work for the contract. If I change the stipulations to the contract, then I'm going to be in trouble when I go to court and see that judge. That judge is going to say, why did you charge a $100 late fee when it's a $50 late fee? Just to give a stupid example, right? So I follow a contract, and I say to the tenants, this is the terms you agreed to. I had a client the other day, a tenant, say, why did you charge me $75 for NSF, non-sufficient funds? I didn't authorize that. It's in your contract when you sign. You already agreed to it, 6 months ago when you signed. So again, communicating, breaking down the barriers, understanding what happens, not taking it personal really helps, because when you take it personal, it's a different ballgame, right? That's what I would say.
I love that. I love that. By a show of hands in the room, how many of you think that communication skills and soft skills, power skills, like Martha calls it, are harder to learn than technical skills? They are. They really are. They're sometimes harder.
Yes and no. I agree with what you're saying. The problem is, if you make a mistake on a computer,